ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, teachings of Queen Kunti, chapter 14. Lord Krishna's wonderful activities. गोप्याददे त्वयि कृतागसिदाम तावत् याते दशाश्रुकलिलाञ्जनसम्भ्रमाक्षम् वक्त्रं निनीय भयभावनया स्थितस्य सा मां विमोहयति भीरपि यद्भिबेति. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense, and your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes. And you are afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Vimohayati. It's a very timely verse. We are in another week. The glorious Kartik month is going to start. And we glorify Damodar, Krishna, bound by the ropes of Yashoda. Dama Udara. Udara means waist, Dama means ropes. So we glorify Damodar throughout the whole month of Kartik. Because this pastime actually happened in Kartik. So this is a very beautiful pastime, which signifies one thing, which is how Krishna is bound up by the love of his devotees. So it's a glorification of the devotion of a pure devotee. Krishna cannot be bound by anybody, but Mother Yashoda binds him. So it's amazing pastime which helps us to go into the mood of pure devotion. It helps us understand how glorious pure devotion is, how glorious pure devotees are. So let's read Prabhupada's purport. Here is another explanation of the bewilderment created by the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the supreme in all circumstances, as already explained. So far, there have been already many verses describing the power of Krishna, the omnipotence of Krishna, etc. So he is supreme. Here is a specific example of the Lord's being the supreme and at the same time a plaything in the presence of his pure devotee. Just imagine this statement. Plaything. Plaything means like children play with toys. The toy is at the mercy of the child. Child might throw it, might break it, might do whatever it wishes. So here Krishna has become a plaything of his pure devotee, meaning he can be made to dance the way pure devotee wants him to dance. He can cry, he can laugh, he can smile, he can do whatever. The Lord's pure devotee renders service unto the Lord out of unalloyed love only. And while discharging such devotional service, the pure devotee forgets the position of the Supreme Lord. Now, this we should not imitate. We should not imitate this position. We should not start thinking, saying that, oh, now I've forgotten that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. It's not an artificial position. It's not an artificial state of mind. First of all, just to be again clear, pure devotee is one who has no other desire but to please the Supreme Lord. 24 hours in his day, a pure devotee is just engaged, always thinking how to render service to please Krishna. And why does he do it? He does it because he has unalloyed love. Unalloyed means pure. Prabhupada coined this word, unalloyed. Basically means pure love. It's not mixed. When you mix some alloy with some gold or something, it becomes like impure. It's unalloyed. And we know this word love. Love means just purely wanting to please Krishna. That is called love. In the material world, it is lust because it is purely intended to please oneself. There is nothing like pure love. Because Prabhupada says that the love of a mother to the child, toward the child, comes close to it, but it's not pure. Everything is mixed in this material world. So because a pure devotee has pure love for Krishna, pure love means no expectation in return. Sometimes parents bring up their children hoping that when we become old, they will take care of us. So there is some underlying expectation or even of reciprocation. For example, I love this person, so that person should love me. Right? So in the material world, at least these two things will contaminate the love. It's very difficult to find people who just love somebody else, even though that person doesn't love in return. Love doesn't mean just doing something for somebody's sake. Like, for example, okay, I don't love this person, but I'll serve this person because it's my responsibility. That's not what we are talking about. This is love, meaning with a serious intention to please that person. So we don't do it. It's very difficult to find people. There might be who will do this, who will shower love on people without expecting anything in return. Not even the reciprocation of that love. So pure devotees serve like this. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Asrishtava padaratam pinastumam adarshanam armahatam karotuva yatha tatha va vidadatu lampato mat prananatastu savevana paraha. Says you can do whatever you want with me. I don't care whether you like me, whether you push me away, whatever, it doesn't matter. You are my prananata. You are the Lord of my life. So this is unalloyed love where there is absolutely not even a iota of expectation. We're not recording. Record. Okay. Right. So this is unalloyed love. So pure devotee, because of his unalloyed love, what happens? While discharging such devotional service, pure devotee forgets the position of the Supreme Lord. Now we should understand this. This doesn't happen even in Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, every devotee has pure love, but he still remembers the position of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, Narayana. There is worship in awe and reverence in Vaikuntha. Oh, he is my Swami, I am his Dasa, mostly. Dasya. So this forgetting the position of the Supreme Lord is ununderstandable. We cannot understand. How can I just forget the position of Supreme Lord? We are all doing service today. We are all trying to do bhakti with the, oh, he is the Supreme Lord. We are saying, okay, he is going to protect me. He is taking care of everything. Or at least we'll say slightly once we progress from that stage, we might say, he is the master. I am the servant. Right? So among the various rasas, Shanta, Dasya, Dasya, whether it is in Goloka or in Vaikuntha, this feeling of, oh, he is the Supreme Lord exists. But after Dasya, of course, in Goloka, even in Dasya, they just want to serve Krishna nicely. That's all. See, whole of Goloka Vrindavan is about forgetting Krishna's supreme position. Right? So Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya is like anyway, they completely forget. Otherwise, how can Yashoda bind Krishna? She just forgets because she is so much engrossed in her feeling of motherhood, motherly love for Krishna. Oh, he's done a mistake. Let me time up. Let me punish him. My son, after all. So because they are so much in this mood of serving Krishna in that rasa, that they cannot think about him in any other way. So if Yashoda is thinking about Krishna as his son, as her son, she cannot think about him in any other way. She cannot even think about him as the lover of the gopis. She cannot think. For her, he is always a small boy. Like her, my Krishna, Lala. He might be doing all kinds of, Leela otherwise, but she cannot see any of that. She just sees that he's my child, he's going to the forest, he's not eating anything. The Supreme Lord also accepts the loving service of his devotees more relishably when the service is rendered spontaneously out of pure affection, without anything of reverential admiration. Like I said, in Vaikuntha, there is reverential admiration. Oh, Narayana is so powerful. Narayana is so great. Narayana is so opulent. Narayana is so beautiful. Reverential admiration with respect, awe and respect, we say. But in Goloka, it is rendered spontaneously, out of pure affection, no respect, pure affection. Spontaneously. Spontaneously means like there is nobody is waiting for some rule. Oh, I have to get up in the morning at Brahma Muhurta, I have to attend Mangalarti, I have to do my 16 rounds. No thinking about these things. Oh, yes, I have to do because it's so nice. I get to serve Krishna in all these various ways spontaneously. So we have to move from this vidhi based bhakti to spontaneous bhakti, where we want, naturally, we feel like, yes, I want to do this service for Krishna. And that develops and develops and develops and develops to extent that finally we'll realize, oh, I want to spontaneously serve Krishna in this way. I want to serve him as a friend. I want to serve him as a parent. I want to serve him as a lover. But it is all spontaneous. It will come naturally. Generally, the Lord is worshipped by the devotees in a reverential attitude. But the Lord is meticulously pleased. Meticulously. And when you use this word meticulous is when something is done very perfect, to the detail. Second. Great attention, very thoroughly. So very thoroughly. So Lord is thoroughly pleased when the devotee, out of pure affection and love, considers the Lord to be less important than himself. Less important than himself. A mother is thinking of Krishna less important than himself. Less important meaning I am responsible for him. So that way I am more important because I am the mother. And all this is just out of pure love. It's Krishna's friends, Sakhas, they are fighting with Krishna. They are doing wrestling. Mm. All these, and with there here the feeling is no, we are equal. We are equal. So we are equal. So he is not any more important than you. This maybe is equally important. Or sometimes something you can just put Krishna in a lower position also. Krishna doesn't mind. Somebody climbs on to Krishna's shoulders. Krishna doesn't say, what is this? Supreme Lord. No, because this is the mood. So nobody can understand. Krishna is not sitting on a throne and wearing some crown and jewels and this. Of course, he's wearing all that, but he's just in the mood, like of a friend, of a son, of a lover, and his actions are bewildering. It's just like a normal person. The Lord's pastimes in the original abode, Goloka Vrindavan, are exchanged in that spirit. The friends of Krishna consider him one of them. They do not consider him to be of reverential importance. The parents of the Lord, who are all pure devotees, consider him a child only. The Lord accepts the chastisements of the parents. Chastisements. A mother scolds Krishna. Yashoda Mata scolds Krishna here more cheerfully than the prayers of the Vedic hymns. Lord is very happy to hear the chastisement of Mother Yashoda. He is more happy to hear that than the prayers of Vedic hymns, which are glorifying the Lord's supreme position, his power, his omniscience, his omnipotence, and all this kind of thing. But Krishna is not very happy with all that. It's okay. When but somebody glorifies Krishna in relationship with his devotees in Vrindavan, Krishna is very happy. And Krishna is very happy to be scolded by his parents, to be chastised by his lovers, to be, you know, all these kinds of equal dealings or even inferior dealings, where Krishna is seen as inferior. I just like an ordinary person. Similarly, he accepts the reproaches of his fiancés more palatably than the Vedic hymns. Uh, this is a very, deep rasa. So fiancés reproach, they might scold him. Oh, nonsense, you said you will come and meet. Why you didn't come? So reproaches, they might be upset also and be upset with Krishna. But it pleases him. It's more palatable. When Lord Krishna was present in this material world to manifest his eternal pastimes of the transcendental realm Goloka Vrindavan, as an attraction for the people in general. Why did he manifest his eternal pastimes? As an attraction. He didn't have any other job to do. It was just an attraction, just to attract people, saying, see, these are my pastimes in Goloka. You want to come? You want to be part of it? That is why he came and performed these pastimes. He displayed a unique picture of subordination before his mother, foster mother Yashoda. The Lord, in his naturally childish, playful activities, used to spoil the stocked butter of Mother Yashoda by breaking the pots and disturbing the distributing the contents to his friends and playmates, including the celebrated monkeys of Vrindavan, who took advantage of the Lord's munificence. And Krishna was not used to doing this only in his house. In fact, he was only doing it outside, mostly doing it outside. So yeah, there's not much description here of the pastime itself. That we can take up some, we'll do on the day of when this Leela happened, Diwali. So finally, all the gopis came and complained to Yashoda, saying, Yashoda, what is this? Your son is so misbehaving. He comes, mm, he spoils all our butter, distributes them to all his friends and monkeys. And Yashoda Mata was not ready to accept it at all. He said, no, 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 you're all jealous of my son. So you want to just, complain. In fact, gopis were finding spiritual happiness by complaining about Krishna because actually it was glorifying. They were all glorifying him. They were never complaining. They're all so happy looking at Krishna. They just get bewildered. They just lose themselves looking at Krishna. These are all senior gopis, the motherly, elderly ones. So when they do it, then one day, then Yashoda Mata decides, okay, I'm going to churn butter today myself because maybe my son doesn't like the butter in my house. So then that day, what Krishna does, Krishna breaks, Krishna steals in his own house. Hmm. Without being seen by Mother Yashoda, he steals some parts of butter and goes to his backyard, sits on a wooden mortar, and is distributing this butter happily to all his friends and monkeys. And Mother Yashoda saw this, and out of pure love, why pure love? Oh, I am his mother. He's now I figured that he's actually been doing this stealing business. Stealing is not good. I have to teach him a lesson. So out of pure love for her son, he wanted to make a show of punishment. See, this is also very important. Actually, Mother Yashoda was not like seriously like angry like today's mothers, fathers, get angry, like really angry, like this, like fire can come out of our eyes. And of course, I mean, so sharp, piercing, painful words come out of our mouth when we are angry. But actually, this anger is in mode of ignorance, our anger. But Yashoda's anger was not in the mode of ignorance. It was just, and it was on the transcendental platform just to punish so that the child doesn't repeat. Bad habit. Stealing is a bad habit. So I have to teach him. That's all her intention was. It was very pure intention. In fact, this we should also learn when we are chastising our children because they did something wrong. It should not be out of like some ignorant anger, you know. It should just be the intention should be to correct the children, and then we could do whatever is required for that based on the situation. And then immediately next moment, this anger should be gone. Of course, it's also I see many parents don't show anger at all towards children, irrespective of what they do. They'll be like glorifying their children. Their children are doing nonsense, and parents see my son how he acts, like some glorification. We should understand our business is to discipline children, not allow them to do whatever nonsense and let them remain indisciplined. Shishyas, shas, shas dhatu. So discipline. This is the first role of parents. Love and discipline, both. Right. So that is why it is advised that one person is remains strict, the other person shows love. So the child finds, on one side being corrected, the other side being shown love. So it doesn't feel too much of the disciplining business. Anyway, I mean, in today's our Kali Yuga, we have to be taught parenting also. Everything has to be taught. You have no idea. Most parents believe in spoiling their children or believe in nahi, but they just end up spoiling their children by giving them more than what they require. Anyway, so yeah, she took a rope and threatened the Lord that she would tie him up, as is generally done in ordinary household. Ordinary like people, children do some very naughty children that parents tie them up. Be here, don't move. Of course, nowadays if we do all this, then seeing the rope in the hands of Mother Yashoda, the Lord bowed down his head and began to weep just like a child, and tears rolled down his cheeks, washing off the black ointment, mascara smeared about his beautiful eyes. So when Krishna is saying, "Oh Yashoda Mata, Yashoda Ma is going to bind me up," He bowed down his head. He said, okay, I'm sorry, I did a mistake. And he began to weep. Just imagine Krishna crying. Krishna is crying. And this is not some drama or some, he is not enacting some, some artificially, he's not just like some tears coming from his eyes. No, really he's crying. He's afraid. So when Krishna does all these, his reciprocation of love with his devotees, it is very natural. He takes up the position of that particular, that role that the devotee wants. So here Yashoda wants him as a small child, and Krishna is perfect. He's a perfect child in terms of all emotions that he's displaying. So he's crying. Then tears roll down his cheeks, not like simply some, one or two drop. Like some children just simply cry, make sound. No, no tears in the eyes, artificial crocodile tears. But Krishna's weeping is not like that. It's actually tears are rolling down his cheeks. So much rolling down that it washed off the mascara on his eyes. Just imagine. People put this kajal, it's like washing it off. So much he's crying. This picture of the Lord is adorned by Kunti Devi because she's conscious of the Lord's supreme position. Kunti Maharani is aware of Krishna's supreme position. Yashoda Mata was not aware. So Kunti is remembering this and she's saying, oh, how can this happen? You're the supreme Lord and you're crying. He is fear, often by fear personified. Yet he is afraid of his mother, who wanted to punish him just in an ordinary manner. Ordinary manner that it was just like tying up rope. What kind of, I mean, how difficult is it for the Lord to overcome tying of a rope? It's just an ordinary manner. It's not like some major war and some, astras and nothing. It's just simply some tying up of Krishna using a rope. It's just an ordinary punishment. Why is Krishna so afraid? Kunti was conscious of the exalted position of Krishna, whereas Yashoda was not. Therefore, Yashoda's position was more exalted than Kunti. See, we have to remember this. Kunti knew the exalted position of Krishna, so her position was inferior to Yashoda's, who did not know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So, which means not knowing Krishna as the Supreme Lord is a more exalted position than knowing Him as Supreme Lord. So, Goloka Vrindavana is more exalted than Vaikuntha. Of course, for devotees who want to worship Krishna in that awe and reverence, yeah, they'll go to Vaikuntha, no problem. We are not competing here. We should understand one thing. All these it is our eternal rasa. It is our eternal relationship with the Lord. So there's nothing like inferior or superior. Yeah, somebody might want to worship Narayana, somebody in awe and reference, somebody might want to worship Krishna in Dasya, somebody might want to worship, whatever, Narsimha. It's okay. It's all their rasa. Nothing is that way superior or inferior. But only philosophically. We discussed, say that, okay, this is more superior. Forgetting Krishna's supreme position is more superior. Just philosophical assessment. Mother Yashoda got the Lord as her child, and the Lord made her forget altogether that her child was the Lord himself. And this was the Yoga Maya Shakti, Leela Shakti of Krishna, which makes Yashoda forget that he is actually the Supreme Lord. If Mother Yashoda had been conscious of the exalted position of the Lord, she would certainly have hesitated to punish the Lord. But she was made to forget this position because the Lord wanted to make a complete gesture of childishness before the affectionate Yashoda, because Yashoda wanted to love Krishna that way, so Krishna is reciprocating. This exchange of love between the mother and the son was performed in a natural way. This reciprocation was natural, like I said, it's not like some artificially Krishna is just acting. And Kunti, remembering the scene, was bewildered and she could do nothing but praise the transcendental filial love. Indirectly, Mother Yashoda is praised for her unique position of love, for she could control even the all-powerful Lord as her beloved child. Mother Yashoda could control Krishna. Who can bind Krishna? Who can even think of binding Krishna? Brahma, Indra, and all try to do stuff like this, and Krishna taught them lessons. So even the great demigods, however, great their position is, they cannot think of doing anything like this with Krishna. You play with Krishna, then you'll get it. But Yashoda is able to simply bind him, and he's crying. Who controls the whole zillions of universes? All the great, great demigods. Hmm. That Krishna is crying in front of Yashoda, who could simply control her just out of pure love. That's all. So this is the supreme position of love, pure love of Krishna, which allows the devotee to actually control. That is why actually Narada Muni says, like, Krishna will give mukti. Oh, you want mukti? You want to go out of this material world? You want to be free of suffering in this material world? No problem. Take it. Take it. He is not bothered. I mean, he's not worried about giving mukti. Like, yeah, I want mukti, take it. But he's absolutely wary about giving bhakti. This is bhakti. This pure bhakti, because this pure bhakti will control him. He'll make him cry. So Krishna is very, very careful. He just doesn't give this to anybody and everybody. We have to prove our purity. We have to prove our purity. Right? That means our real intention is just to please Krishna and not get anything out of him. We are not in some business with Krishna. Till Krishna is very clear that, this devotee is not here to do any kind of business and is tested it in various ways and is convinced, then Krishna will give pure devotion. So it's not easy. It's not easy, but at the same time, it's easy. At least even if it is, it's very, it gives happiness. Susukham is executed very happily. And it enables, bhakti enables us to achieve this most exalted position of being able to control the Lord. But of course, the devotee is not doing bhakti saying, I'm going to control the Lord, I'm going to control the Lord. Then obviously Krishna will not give him pure devotion. So beautiful, amazing. You know, yeah, that's the power of pure bhakti. Okay, I'll stop here. Any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have a small confusion.
Mhm.
So we always talk about or discuss that we need to worship Radha Krishna in Madhuri Ras.
Mhm.
So that should be our goal. So in the
Mhm.
Damodar month, but we are shifting to
Yeah.
Vatsalya Ras, right?
Yeah, so actually, see, we should understand we are not artificially, just that the parampara is more focused on serving Radha Krishna, right? But that is the overarching mood. When we really seriously go into that mood, then these pastimes might be seen very differently by such pure devotees. But in the stage we are in right now, first of all, we have to get attracted to Krishna to such an extent that we give up our material attraction, right? And all these beautiful pastimes of Krishna I've seen over the years, it just attracts us so much that whenever we get attracted by something on the material world, we can think of these pastimes and say, oh, so glorious, so nice, so sweet, so madhura, right? So it's not like either way. I mean, I think at this point of time we are in a very early stage to discuss this. But yes, our goal, in one way we say madhurya, but actually for general discussion we can say our goal is to develop prema bhakti, is to develop loving devotional service. In what mood, that will be revealed. But as a parampara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Dasa. So the mode is to serve Radha and Krishna, right? But it has to come naturally, even amongst associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There were Murari Gupta was Hanuman, so he was worshipper of Rama. Narada Muni, Srivas Thakur was incarnation of Narada Muni, so he was in the mood of worshipping Narayana. So different people had different, then somebody was a worshipper of Narsimhadev. So it's not that they were all worshipping only Radha Krishna. There will be exceptions, but generally speaking, it'll be like this. And subsequently, see, we will understand when we hear this. Yes, we are attracted by, suppose, now, initially, I mean, I was very attracted by, even now I'm attracted, but by, Krishna's childhood pastimes. But then when I started hearing about Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, it attracted me more. Right? So it just depends. So we have to wait. We should not get too ahead of us. Right? So it's okay. Yeah. When we finish Bhagavad Gita, then Bhagavatam, then finish the 10th canto, then we will 2-3 times after we read, then we will be in some position to say, okay, these pastimes attracted me more, and that is fine. If suppose I know of my devotee friends who are mostly attracted by Sakhya Bhava of Krishna, it's okay. There's nothing wrong. But we should not artificially go. Like one thing I said, don't worship Laddu Gopal at home, because you will artificially go into this Vatsalya Bhava. You don't know whether you actually are in that power or not. It simply end up, because we have to, and of course, Laddu Gopal worship is more difficult because he's like a child. He wants to keep eating every now and then. Right? We have to make offering 6 times a day. And so, I mean, it's like you have to take care of him as a child. It's not easy at all. And our devotees, what they do, they just, oh, Laddu Gopal, I got TT in the shop. Let me get it, start worshipping. No, it's not like this. First of all, DT worship has to have the approval, explicit permission of Guru. Guru has to say, okay, you can start worshipping. Right? And generally, worshipping any deity, we should go into that mood, and then we might go into Vatsalya, and then we don't know whether we are actually having Vatsalya Bhav or Madhurya Bhav. We don't know, or Sakhya Bhav. So we should just wait. We should hear all these, but we should not get too worked up at this point of time. Just things will get revealed as we make progress.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank
Okay.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Good question. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Mataji.